Hello everyone out there on the internet, I'm Jack of all trades, and this is going to be my reaction to Tales of the Empire, episodes 1 through 6. I'm just going to marathon this thing and have fun editing down all that footage. Last week we just finished watching The Bad Batch. The show is done. It feels really weird. I have accepted it. I've somewhat moved on. I look forward to seeing Omega inevitably in future Star Wars projects. And I'm going to be sad when we don't see Hunter, Wrecker, Tech. Well, we're not going to see Tech, Echo, and Crosshair down the line. However, this show, there's going to be a bit of overlap. I reacted to the trailer, link to that will be on screen, just now for Tales of the Empire, which was, again, a lovely surprise when that dropped. We know that we're following Morgan Elsbeth and Barriss Offee. Barriss, who we knew from the Clone Wars series, and she was in the prequel trilogy as well. And then Morgan we first met in The Mandalorian Season 2, and has since popped up in Ahsoka. So we're filling in some of her backstory, and yeah, we're basically working backwards with Morgan, because we know how her story ends. I mean, Night Sister magic, that might not be the end, but we know how her story ends. So we're now filling in the prequel stuff for her. Barriss, we know pretty much how her story began through joining the Jedi Temple and then ultimately betraying them, and we never saw her again. So we're getting sequels to Barriss's story and prequels to Morgan's story. I am curious if, like the previous season, Tales of the Jedi, the stories are going to be sort of interlinked and like spaced out between each other, so that they are in chronological order, or if we're going to follow all of one and all of the other. We're going to have to dive on in and see. I did, because I thought this would be fun. I saw this YouTube thumbnail. I didn't watch the video because I hadn't seen the show yet, and I decided, yeah, I'm going to make a little bingo card myself that we can cross off as I go through the show. So here are my rough predictions for Tales of the Empire. Top to bottom, starting right to left, we're going to go a Mother Talzin cameo. We know we're getting Grievous's attack on Dathomir, wiping out the Night Sister clan. So I was teetering between saying Talzin and Ventress for a cameo here. Talzin would be cool. We haven't seen her in a while. Ventress did just pop up in Bad Batch, so I could see, hey, while we've got our voice actress here, let's record a line or two. Even then, it could just be the character model in the background fighting. Then Marok face reveal. Marok was what we believed to be an Inquisitor in Ahsoka, who dies in a puff of smoke when stabbed. It was weird, but that armor, at least, was in the trailer for Tales of the Empire. So more information on who and what that was would be nice. Then, Grand Inquisitor was at Barriss' trial. Again, from the trailer, we know the Grand Inquisitor, voiced by Jason Isaacs, is going to be in this show. It's long been a theory, because we know he was a Jedi Temple guard, that he was one of the guards flanking Barriss at her trial in Clone Wars. So I don't think that's ever been confirmed by anything, so some confirmation of that would be great. Or some line implying it. Barriss recognizes Vader. We know they're going to be in the same room together, at least briefly for one scene from the trailer. So Barriss recognizing Vader, and on the flip side, Vader recognizing Barriss. One of the two, possibly even both. Maybe they don't say anything. Maybe they do say something and Vader just stabs her. We'll have to wait and see. Baylan and or Shin cameo right in the center. I was trying to think of what stuff we could get with Morgan's story, because most of these predictions so far have been around the Barriss episodes. Morgan is a character who doesn't have too many other connections with other characters, because the Night Sisters were wiped out. I'm like, we could see Talzin. I do have some other ideas further down on this board. We could get a Pelion cameo. We know we're seeing Thrawn. Potentially the Chimera could be nice, but that got its big cameo in the Ahsoka show. So seeing Pelion would be cool. So Balin and or Shin, I'm not certain on that. We don't know when exactly they joined up with Morgan, but perhaps they were at least aware of each other earlier on. Then onto the bottom row, the Clancy Brown Inquisitor gets a name or title, because I'm pretty sure that Inquisitor from the end of Tales of the Jedi, who is again in this trailer for this show, voiced by Clancy Brown, is just known as the an unidentified Inquisitor, which I know there's a good number of sort of one-off unnamed Inquisitors. I don't need the character name, just a something brother. Just give us some recognition of who they are, where they rank. That would be nice. Morgan gets the Beskar spear. She has it. Beskar is a precious, rare resource, highly sought after by the Mandalorians, taken by the Empire after the Purge. So, how does she get it? Is she gifted it by Thrawn? Is she gifted it by someone else in the Empire? Does she take it for herself? Let's see the story behind that before, Din Djarin gets it. And then lastly, yep, a Pelion cameo. I feel like that's simple. I'm going to be looking out during the Morgan episodes for an Imperial with a mustache, and decide whether it's Yularen or Pelion, who have very distinct faces. And if we get Yularen, I don't expect him to speak at all. But Pelion, yeah, I think there's a strong chance for him. Okay, well, I will have that appearing in the corner and cross them off as and when, and more importantly, if any of those happen. So, yeah, let's pull this up, dive on into episode 1. 3, 2, 1, play. I imagine if we are doing a timeline order, chronological run of episodes, this will probably be Morgan. Different helmets. Ooh, that Inquisitor. Crosshair Grievous. And ending on a Phase 1 clone helmet, nice. I will try to catch what all those helmets were as we go through the show. One of them was a Night Owl, possibly Bo-Katan. But yes, I expect that we're starting with Grievous's assault on Dathomir. Wiping out the Night Sisters. Definitely Dathomir, look at those roots. Yeah, Night Sister bows, here we are. Everything on fire. The hoods. All these blasters. Oh, that was a great sort of camera angles down there, so we went from a pan down to like a tracking across the ground. That was a good shot. Okay, that's Elsbeth. Yeah, sisters are just falling left and right. Your weapons do fuck all to B2s. Oh, her mum. Okay. And she did sound quite young there as well, which, I mean, makes sense actually, because thinking of Morgan's age in The Mandalorian and Ahsoka, yeah, she needs to be quite young here. Oh, here he is. Oh, the laugh. And again, this brilliant model. Ooh, yikes, okay. Ooh, getting some Night Sister magic. Using his feet. Oh, Morgan's totally gonna see her mother die. That's gonna happen. Yeah, third saber, yep. Let's go through, yep, multiple arms. Oh, last words was run. Oh, Christ. That was brutal. Oh my god. His mocking shouts of run. He's fucking scary in this episode. Okay, Grievous. I mean, we know she lives, but again, the music, the visuals, the sort of high strings, they're good. Ooh, okay. Yikes. They're doing good with the tension. Just keep going and keep hiding. Oh, that's a good laugh. Such a good laugh. Oh, Grievous is great. He's not the most He's not the deepest character. I know he's got some good like backstory and stuff prior to the events of. Ooh. After the battle, Night Brothers come in, maybe? Oh, I like the layer of ash on top of her and everything. That's good. That's a good detail. I'm trying to think who else is on Dathomir. The Path of Fear. Okay. As far as I know, it's just the Night Brothers. So they save her and she gets off planet somehow. Oh.
You are under the protection of the Mountain Clan now.
There are multiple clans of Night Sisters?
Their spells have faded. You're fortunate to be alive.
After the like grandmother Night Sister died. And their magic all sort of faded during the battle. Morgan's just woken up, so now her magic's faded as well. But this Mountain Clan do not identify themselves as Night Sisters. They're the Mountain Clan. Just other Dathomiri, I guess. So this is a new faction on Dathomir we're being introduced to. Because at the end of Ahsoka, it seems like Thrawn and his Chimera were returning to Dathomir, right? So we're introducing this faction that would still be here for when Thrawn returns. Maybe, but a bit of setup being done by this episode.
You are welcome to stay with the Mountain Clan.
This is where she's gonna punch the dirt like in the trailer, and it's look how good that looks. Look how good that looks. It's not fair. Out to get food. Wow, that's a weapons downgrade from the bow she was using earlier. The literal night before. I'm also kind of glad for the hesitance, the reluctance, ultimately the decision to not just call these the Day Sisters.
After what you've seen, your way of life will no longer be enough to protect your people.
She's right, but this feels manipulative. We've ducked down into the shadows, or Morgan ducks down into the shadows.
Prepared for the same. There was more you could have done to prevent it.
Dark side, dark side, dark side.
We should trust our
this whole attack and wiping out of the Night Sister clan was done because because Sidious ordered Dooku to abandon and kill Ventress. Ventress returned to the Night Sisters and then retaliated to attack Dooku. Dooku, surviving, and then in retaliation sent Grievous to wipe out the Night Sisters. Specifically. It was specifically... yeah, specifically to wipe out the Night Sisters in retaliation. So they might not just be going after everyone on the surface of Dathomir, which we now know there are other factions, at least this one other faction.
No.
Oh, yikes, yep, okay, they're all gonna die except for Morgan here. They're falling, they're not fighters. Oh. Did she teleport down here, or did you walk down here? Ooh, shield. Okay. Cool, Mountain Clan has some magic as well. That takes a toll. I like the foliage, just a low exhale there as well.
Just because someone does not want to fight, that they are not capable. Now,
would have been good of you to say that before we did this, then. You should have said this before we went and did this. It's the Holdo thing. Just tell us that there is a plan. Come on. Don't tell us that we don't need to know it. Just tell us what the plan is up front, and it prevents misunderstanding. I blame the mother in this situation for not explaining. We have magic. We can fight them. It's fine. And it's just choosing not to. We will defend ourselves should we need to.
Your path is set, Morgan Elspeth. I pity you.
The path of
For
fear.
I can see what is to come.
Ooh. Okay. Some foresight abilities as well. Ah, good shot. That's what we're ending on. Good last shot. Okay. Roll credits. Ooh. Okay, I like this track. It initially reminded me of more of a sort of Pirates of the Caribbean vibe, something to do with Teodama. Like the Fountain of Youth or something, but it's when it sort of gets higher and more sort of warbly in the vocalizations. I'm not a music guy. I don't know quite how to describe this, but I like it. It feels. Maybe if we get this theme for just the Morgan episodes, then we get a different one for the endings of like the Barris ones, or maybe the Barris ones will fit this vibe as well. Okay, right, that was episode 1. Okay. Not a ton to dig into there. Timeline-wise, again, we know when this takes place. In terms of during the fight, I didn't see Grievous with a 4th arm. I'm pretty sure he lost a hand. I forget where on the arm Ventress got him. He only used 3. He could have had a 4th one and only just needed to use. He might have only needed 3 to win that fight. But that's a good touch. I'm sure I can look back and find out, and people will break it down. He's fought Ventress. Ventress got away, and now he's just continuing. But the Grievous's mocking call, run, as he's just laughing. Matthew Wood doing good work. We didn't get any voices for the droids from him there, but we got his Grievous, and I think that's more than enough for me. Okay, diving into episode 2. I forgot how short these episodes were. Oh, and this one's even shorter than the last. Okay, right. 3, 2, 1, play. Let's try and catch these helmets. Okay. Night Owl, that one droid, Ezra, Clancy Brown, Chopper. Ending on the Phase 1 clone. The Night Owl one is probably Bo-Katan. That's a safe assumption. Ooh, Coruscant. Light cruiser? No, there's Venators stripped back. Not full on Star. Oh, this is a Star Destroyer though. yeah. When the engines are like sticking out the back, that's a Venator. And you can tell from the shape as well, but that's a Star Destroyer, which we just saw possibly the first ever Star Destroyer in timeline-wise in the Bad Batch. Ooh.
Increase maneuverability and lower fuel consumption. And most important, shields.
Is she already working for Thrawn? And she's pitching this idea on his behalf? Or did Morgan come up with TIE Defenders? It's TIE Defenders, right? It's the TIE Defender program. Lothal. Morgan came up with this whole idea. Okay.
Thank you for your presentation, Magistrate.
That doesn't feel like a retcon, but I don't mind that change. Or that tweak. I like it. I like it a lot.
Our interest was never in your plans. These fertile systems, however, now those are interesting.
Okay.
We will be there in short order to take what is rightfully ours.
We like Morgan's idea. Oh, okay, so no, she's he addressed her as magistrate, so she's already in charge of that planet we see her in Mandalorian. But they like her idea of taking resources, if not necessarily the Defenders themselves.
change the engine manifold.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, mustache.
Ion engines are inefficient when you're using that much power. This is where's my resources.
This is Pelion. This is Pelion.
But I am curious to know about the mind that came up with them.
I don't understand why.
My superior sends me to these meetings to search
Yeah,
for people
yeah,
with a
yeah.
particular
Thrones. Okay,
vision.
good.
However,
My superior, so it's definitely Pelion. Nice.
why is it that you want to lend your substantial talents and vision to the Empire?
Why, for the glory of the Empire, of course.
I see.
Not the answer he was looking for. Something more personal is what he was wanting. Because that's the Sunday school answer of Jesus loves us. It's the answer by rote of for the glory of the Empire, as opposed to your actual reason. Okay, but no, she wasn't referring to Lothal specifically. She was referring to this planet, which again I forget the name of. Which by the time we see, that forest is indeed dying and like stripped. I like this ship. I recognize it. I forget if it was in Mandalorian or not, but I do recognize this ship. Ooh. Oh, Rook! Rook was not on my list! And she already has the spear. Whoa! Oh, look how good he looks! Rook in the Clone Wars style as opposed to the Rebel style. Oh! Oh, tell me it's Warwick Davis. It's gotta be. Oh, that's so fun. That's so fun. Thrawn sent him to, like, test her. We saw in the trailer, Thrawn, like, stood with her on a wall, perhaps this wall. So is Thrawn just here waiting to see how this fight pans out? Rook! I kinda can't believe this. That's a much more fun, a much more surprising cameo than, like... I'm still kind of expecting maybe Luminara to pop up in the Barris episodes, but yeah. Her people not helping her, but watching the fight. Is this also somewhat staged by Thrawn to have her win and show her strength to the people? Maybe? Reincur their favor? Oh my god! Okay.
Who sent you?
Well done, Magistrate.
Hey, Pelion.
Thank you, Rook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forgive the theatrics.
No
but we had to
dialogue.
make sure you were capable of handling it.
I like to think we got Davison
I
to
look forward to working
voice Rook here, but there was no dialogue. Okay. You'll understand in a moment. Thrawn's already on the wall. He's already on the wall.
History remembers the witches of Dunamy.
Lars! Oh, I love your voice.
I was curious to witness a display of your particular skills.
Why not experience them first?
Again, in the Clone Wars style.
Misen.
Who are you?
Admiral Thrawn.
Not yet grand.
Your designs are brilliant, but not cost-effective.
Hmm.
Men in the Empire will trade lives for profit. Over time,
Yeah.
as you create a weak and disillusioned military, the Empire will slowly crumble.
Why do you
He's so smart. He knows already the Empire's gonna fail.
Why should I?
Why do you seek Imperial favor?
Revenge. That I offer the Empire.
Offer accepted.
Nice.
Is Dane.
Oh.
No, that is...
Oh, Thrawn's theme, I hear the organ.
They'll be at your disposal.
Is it good?
No. It means she won.
Long live the Empire.
And I understand from the discourse around the trailer after the after its release that one citizen who's getting the most focus did show up in The Mandalorian as well. Okay, this has been good. Nothing universe shaking, just nice little expanded sort of tidbits. Whereas, and so far we're only 2 episodes in, whereas Tales of the Jedi, the Dooku stuff was amazing, the Ahsoka stuff was good fun. The Ahsoka stuff felt like appendixes, in a sense. Appendixes that I enjoyed reading, that I enjoyed watching, but it didn't feel like integral. The Dooku thing felt like an anime OVA, where it's like, here's the story, here's Star Wars, here's the prequel trilogy, here's the Clone Wars TV show, here's this little side story that you don't need to watch, but provides a lot more context and a lot more interest in that character. So far, again, 2 episodes deep, those first 2 are feeling more appendixy, especially the first one. The second one I really quite liked. And I'm hoping that, I assume, because we've now jumped forward quite a bit in the timeline. Morgan has aged up. I'm pretty sure that is her live-action actress doing the voice now. We've not jumped to Rebels, per se, because he is just Admiral Thrawn, not yet Grand. Does already have Rook, though. And Pelion, of course. Which I'm glad that was on my list. It's like Thrawn had a scene in the trailer, and I assume that's him done for the show as well. But I'm like, yeah, that could be a fun one. Yeah, on to episode 3. 11 minutes. These episodes are getting shorter and shorter. Okay. And 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, helmets. Helmets. Night Owl, that one droid, Ezra, Brother, Chopper, Crosshair, Grievous, droid, clone. Commando droid, Phase 1 clone. And it's Ezra's sort of Stormtrooper cadet helmet, and that one droid, I forget exactly, it's the not Alan Rickman droid from Rebels. It's that design of protocol droid. It does also remind me, though, of that one helmet from Star Wars Visions, from the Studio Trigger episode. It's very similar with the sort of oversized eyes. Blue and white, very New Republic. So we're at Mandalorian times now. Trees have been cut down. There's a clearing out front. Yeah, New Republic. But the forest around isn't yet in the state we see it in Mandalorian. So we're still a bit before that. Ooh, look at you, buddy. I also don't immediately recognize her species.
Nadura? Is that you?
Nadora.
Hello, Wing.
Why have you come?
Oh, she was in the previous episode, actually. Yeah, she was in that crowd shot.
There was
Okay.
a special assembly. They were looking for people to go to distant worlds and petition for membership. So here I am.
The
Okay.
New Republic?
Yes, the Galactic Empire was defeated. You don't know?
Ooh.
Some news reaches us more slowly than others.
Okay.
Night and day.
There have been strange folk about.
Steve
Mercenaries,
Bloom.
I think. Coming
Hey,
and
bud.
going.
The Empire's fallen, but she's working for Thrawn, irrespective of the state of the Empire. Yeah. So whatever happens this episode is the reason that he ends up calling in the help of... Well, he doesn't call in the help. Mando goes there looking for Ahsoka, and Ahsoka goes there looking for Thrawn. So is Thrawn gone yet? Has Rebels ended at this point? Has Star Wars Rebels concluded? The Empire... No, if the Empire has fallen and there is New Republic, then yes, of course Star Wars Rebels has ended. So Thrawn has been gone for some time now. So is Morgan already working on the Eye? Is that what her planet's resources end up getting used for? And that's now her outfit from Mandalorian. Yep.
You must step down and relinquish your control of the local systems. If you will not comply, I will have to arrest you. Leave now. Peacefully. It's what
Will
the
you?
people want.
And how would you know what the people want?
Magistrate Karga didn't have to step down for not joining the Republic.
You left many years ago because it did not suit you to work in our factories. You cannot stop what has begun. No one can. I've had a vision. And I will fulfill my destiny.
Ooh.
I won't allow that to happen.
By now she's had the dreams. The Night Sisters out beyond the galaxy have been sending her visions. Okay.
I can help you get a fair trial. Don't burn everything down around you.
Oh, poor choice of words.
Since I was a child,
very poor choice of words.
Why
yeah.
should this one be any different?
Good framing on just the eye. That's that closed.
Your people need you more than I do.
Ooh. And thus I spare you. I also think from the trailer we saw one of these, one of our sort of henchmen droids, what you call it? With a flamethrower. So this world burning is something that I can very much see happening, and again, the forest is kind of decimated when we see it in Mandalorian. R8, no! Get out of there! That explosion killer? Wow, okay. Here we go, yep. Yikes. Trailer shot, there's a trailer shot in here, Morgan in front of the flames, right? And the crashed ship, yeah, well, blown up ship, yeah.
You will work night and day, but you do so knowing that you will be part of an effort that will save our galaxy from ruin.
Building the Eye, getting to Thrawn. Oh, still alive. Okay. Not for much longer. Very similar to the girl dying in her mother's arms in episode 1.
Help will come.
Okay.
You must be ready to do your part.
Distress signal got out.
Even if it is small.
Yeah, that's good.
You can make a difference.
That's a good addition for this very minor character in The Mandalorian.
Who is this? I received your distress signal.
Bo-Katan!
Who is it?
No one is coming.
You'll be surprised. Okay. Why was Bo-Katan... There we are, trailer shot. Why is Bo-Katan who we send that distress signal to? Have her and the Night Owls joined up with the New Republic? I don't think so. But aside from that, that's great. She will send Ahsoka the Jedi there, perhaps. Oh, wait, well... For whatever the exact order of things is, because again, Ahsoka seems to be there looking for Thrawn. Looking for her master. Looking for Ezra. Which Morgan does now know. In that scene, she knows where Thrawn is. Because she's had the visions already. Ah, that's fun. But yeah, people are converging on Corvus, I think was the name of this planet. Mando's going to be heading there to find Ahsoka. Ahsoka's heading there to find Thrawn. Bo-Katan sends Mando to Ahsoka, and possibly also sends Ahsoka here. Okay, but yeah, whatever the exact order of those things are, I think things are converging there. Right, I believe it's 6 episodes. That was 3, 1, 2, 3. They were all about Morgan, but that is the Morgan Elsbeth story done. We now know everything we're going to know about her, unless again we get more things going back and filling in gaps. But this show punctuated all those points. We first met her in The Mandalorian, and she was Magistrate Elsbeth. She was working for Thrawn, we found out right at the end, or used to work for Thrawn at a minimum. We guessed there were people talking about it, but I don't remember being especially prominent until the Ahsoka show that Morgan could be a Night Sister. So we knew that. We then got the Ahsoka series, and that built upon that, going after Thrawn, meeting other mothers, and then Morgan's eventual death there. We've now jumped back to build up to retroactively fill in the bullet points that build to what we knew from Mandalorian and then Ahsoka. Oh, she was a Night Sister. So, logically, she was there when Grievous attacked. She survived. We saw that story now. She was working for Thrawn. How did she come to work for Thrawn? Oh, well, she started working for the Empire. She had these ideas above her station, perhaps, as a lowly magistrate. And the Empire prioritizing profit over lives and all that. The greed of many officers. So we now see how she came to work for Thrawn. And then lastly, this last episode just sort of gets her from where she was beginning to work for Thrawn to where she is in Mandalorian when we see her, of just subjugating this town, the forest around it being destroyed, and what exactly she is now using its resources for, because the TIE Defender program was in works on Lothal under Thrawn. Again, he took that idea and ran with it, no doubt giving her the credit due, which most of the officers in the Empire would not have done. Okay, I, again, really enjoyed that. I'm going to glance back at the bingo card, which I've been crossing out throughout. We did not get a Talzin cameo. We did not get Balin or Shin. We got fucking Rook, though, and again, that's crazy. I did not expect him at all. We got Pelion. We did see the spear, but we didn't see how she got it. So, Pelion crossed off, and I think that's about it. So now we're just going into the Barriss episodes with my remaining squares. Marek face reveal. Grand Inquisitor confirmed at Barriss' trial would be lovely. Vader recognizing Barriss, Barriss recognizing Vader. And Clancy Brown Inquisitor getting a name/title. I think Barriss recognizing Vader, I think, is the most likely of these. And Vader recognizing Barriss, I think, is perhaps... Those, I think, are the most likely to happen. And followed by the Grand Inquisitor being confirmed at Barriss' trial. So, let's dive on into episode 4. 3, 2, 1, play. Let's finally see what happened to Barriss Offee. When the Ahsoka trailer came out, everyone was talking about is Marek. Marek is Marok. Barriss, because are we finally going to get an explanation of what happened to Barriss? Lightsaber duel. What was that? The screams. Order 66, maybe? What lightsaber fight could you be thinking of there? I didn't hear Matt Lanter. It didn't sound like her versus Anakin. It's Order 66. She's in a cell as the temple is destroyed, and yeah, okay. And her outfit, her prisoner garb is fully.
Tell me what's happening. Has there been an
It's her voice actress back. Yeah. Yeah. But no, it is the same exact getup that Luminara had when she was in the cell and being used as bait to lure in other Jedi. Well, we can now add this scene to all those YouTube compilations of Order 66 happening in real time. We're gonna just splice in that footage. That's fun.
Stand up, Barris Offee.
Hello, who are you? New character.
Lynn?
Lynn.
I don't go by that name anymore.
Maybe not a new character then, but I don't recognize her.
What does the Jedi Council want?
I am not here.
Oh, and look at her eyes! That's very dark side.
Serving a life sentence for crimes. But at your trial, you accused the Jedi of murder and treason. It seems you were right after all.
Ah. Because that is the story. The Chancellor. Yes! Ooh!
What does this mean for me?
It means I'm here to present you with
Again, they're focusing on the eyes with the light from the window.
rare and precious opportunity.
Formerly Lynn. Not a character I recognize. I didn't recognize her in the trailer. But it does look like she also becomes an Inquisitor. And again, going by the eyes, she's might be well on the way there. I may also just be being racist, and that's what her species' eyes look like. But that's the typical Sith eyes. Devoted. Okay, we've moved on from Path of the Blank to now. Single word episode title. Okay. Ooh, heading to Inquisitorius. It's a very waterlogged planet. And I do like this hairstyle for Barris. I was never a big fan of her hair in the... Ooh, under construction Inquisitorius? Ooh! Okay, right. This is very early on. Again, we got Order 66. The Empire Day. And then I imagine the construction on this started after that. So it might have been a bit of time. We might be a week or so into the Empire minimum, I'd say. I doubt this is the next day. And just the black clone trooper armor. Okay. Other candidates?
Barris.
Dante. Okay, other Padawan. Or former Padawan, perhaps.
It's good to see a familiar face.
I thought you were in prison.
Nice to see you too, Amar.
Now that you've all arrived,
Oh,
we may
Grand
begin.
Inquisitor.
You're here because the Jedi.
One of those two is going to be the one she has to fight to earn her place.
We must build a new covenant. I advise you not to leave until we meet
He's
again.
proper paladin. Look at those fangs. Look at those teeth. And it's throwing me. The eyes look a lot smaller than I'm used to, but that's again purely because of the Rebels design. But I like it. I like it. It looks a lot better than the live action one did. Sorry, Kenobi show. I know you did your best. You could have done better. Powins looked better decades beforehand in live action than they did in that show.
What are you talking about? What he said back there doesn't sound any better than the Jedi, Dante.
Who are these voice actors?
All this is, it's not what we.
I recognize both their voices.
That's not my problem.
Who is that? Oh, it's Hunter from Owl House. It's Hawks from My Hero. It's I forget his name, but he's a great voice actor. It's Hunter from Owl House. That's why I'm recognizing it.
Had a terrible accident. Sadly, we must proceed without him.
Yeah, that was in his jaw.
Told him not to go.
Okay.
Barris, come with me.
Train separately, and then they'll have to fight. And is the Grand Inquisitor playing favorites? Perhaps a touch here again. Was he one of the guards who was there for her trial? And I love what they said earlier this episode of Barris being acquitted of her crimes, basically, because, well, it turns out you were right. The Jedi were going down the wrong path. They did try to kill Palpatine. They were betraying the Republic, is the story.
Take this weapon and attack me.
It also makes sense that they would have a surplus of lightsabers available now if the clones were collecting them. If the clones collected them after they killed each of the Jedi, and yeah, I wonder whose saber that is. Major lightsaber fans and Star Wars trivia people, whose saber is that?
You're holding back. It makes you predictable.
It's just hands behind his back as well. Okay. Bit of blood. Ooh, ooh.
Now I feel your anger.
We're going dark side with this.
Perhaps you're not as powerful as we...
Barriss has been through some shit in the Clone Wars. Ooh, she drew blood. She drew blood. They both did, but might have just been the lighting. But a slight purplish tints to the Grand Inquisitor's blood there. I'm just gonna get in this episode a montage of her training. Ooh, this is more temple-like, carved from the stone. Runes around the rim, or maybe just Arabesh. Okay.
You both have.
Right. So now this is where they're gonna have to fight. Was there more training we didn't see, or are we going straight from attack me to kill each other?
To fight, of course. In which case, both.
And they get pushed into the hole in the center. Yeah, okay. Ooh, and it's a red saber they've been given as well.
What are you doing? Embracing the future.
Ooh. If Barriss wins without using the saber at all, that'd be interesting. They're running out of time, they're getting close. Oh! Barriss Offee fucking broke a guy's neck with the Force. Star Wars! I remember sitting as a child watching her and Ahsoka stuck in the tunnels of Tatooine. Not Tatooine. Ooh, Geonosis. The whole worm arc and everything. I remember rooting so hard for this character to survive and be a good guy, which is why the betrayal feels so powerful when that does then happen in, later in the Clone Wars. But just that contrast of Barriss then to Barriss break a guy's neck. Okay, but she's got her helmet, her gear, and her saber. Brothers, sisters, enter. So are these just the early Inquisitors? Marek, Clancy Brown, who we don't have a name for yet. And sister. Formerly Lynn, now something the sister.
Now it is time you meet your new master.
Bum, 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 bum. Oh, the breathing. Is he gonna sit in that fucking throne? Oh, Vader. Are they gonna recognize each other? Come on, bingo card. Oh, that pose, that stance, and boom. Anakin is in there. Or physically, anyway. But this is Vader. Oh! Was that a shot backwards in the trailer? Did they reverse that shot? I don't recognize Barriss's Inquisitor helmet. Ass. I don't recognize it as an Inquisitor we've encountered before. But like, if this was a one-off, if it was just this one episode, that's absolutely what they should have done. That would have been so fucking crazy. It's like, yeah, what happened to Barriss? Here's one episode to tell you how she went from the end of Clone Wars to an unnamed Inquisitor who you kill in Fallen Order, or who showed up briefly in Rebels, or something, you know? But no, there's more episodes to come. There's more Barriss story to tell. Although, I don't think there was any more in the trailer to do with Barriss. I think we've seen everything from the Barriss episodes here. From the Barriss clips in the trailer in this one episode. So I'm very interested where the final two are going to go for this show. I do just want to jump back to the cast to check who the other two kids were. Well, the two initiates were. Oh, there's two Kyners. Kevin Kiner and Sean Kiner and Dina Kiner. Lots of Kyners did the score for this show. Okay, interesting. Starring, okay, Amar, Zeno Robinson, Nicholas Cantu. I don't is a name I recognize. Oh, he was in TMNT Mutant Mayhem. He's one of the kids in that. So let me just see you on Behind the Voices. What else have you done? Boyd in the DuckTales reboot. The voice of Gumball. Oh, okay, that's good. Yay, yeah, it's Rowan Freemaker from the Freemaker Adventures. Okay, previous Star Wars experience and a good bit of other voice acting credits. Again, Gumball Watterson is a big one. Boyd in the DuckTales reboot, and then kind of just the modern voice of Leonardo is what I'm seeing, because was great. Leonardo was fantastic in Mutant Mayhem. But there's also Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2024 TV show, who he's also doing Leonardo for. Unfortunately, Googling his name is bringing up some online controversy with Dream, so that's a whole other rabbit hole to go down. But did good work in this episode. Minimum. And again, was good in Mutant Mayhem. So, right. On to episode 5. That, again, I don't think I know anything about. I don't think there were any clips left in the trailer. I kind of want to go back to the trailer and look, but I don't think so. Huh. Okay. Full screen, 3, 2, 1, play. What's gonna happen with Barriss now? Is she gonna go all in on Inquisitor? Is she gonna turn her back on them? I don't know. I think I'd really like for them to go dark and have her be killed by a Jedi or fail in a mission or something. Or again, Vader to recognize her and kill her, but we didn't get that. We're still going. And the ship is very reminiscent of the ship in
Our target is known to be
Kenobi.
local rebel cell.
Also, what Jedi... There's a few Jedi we know survived Order 66 and are currently unaccounted for. I am now, suddenly, really hoping that we get Oppo Rancisis in the next 2 episodes of this show. That will be fucking insane. I will run outside and smash my keyboard. Something sister and something sister. Again, it'd be nice to know the designations for Marek, for Clancy Brown, Inquisitor. Realization. Oh, okay, she might be defecting then. It would have been nice to if she doesn't. If she's just all in on being an Inquisitor now, but okay, no, let's see what we get. I'm looking at faces. I'm hoping it's someone we recognize.
They can control your minds, make you do things you otherwise would not.
Sure, true.
You know something. It's all right. You can tell me.
Take off the scary helmets. You might stand a better chance. Yep.
Is that better? Okay.
I like their 2 different approaches, Barriss and this other sister.
Mountains. You did the right thing for everyone.
Sister. The mountains.
Ooh. What? What?
People are judged by their actions.
Well
What?
then.
What? What the fuck are we doing? What? What the fuck are we doing? This kid's gonna be killed. What the actual fuck? I'm not even horrified, I'm just pissed because I don't fucking understand what she's doing. I don't get it. Like, in the slightest. What the fuck? Because they weren't giving up the information? But one of them did.
Look back.
Okay, well I can see why Barris will have a realization and leave this faction, but wow. What was the promise Barris made? Well, that scene really threw me. I don't get it.
Now those who witness our strength will respect it.
That one child? Who else witnessed your strength? You killed them all. Wow, that environment looks photorealistic. I don't like that decision. That feels really fucking dumb. I like the Inquisitors being dark and being murderers. That's not something we got a lot of in Rebels when they were introduced. But I don't like that scene. That was just really poor, I think. I don't get it. I also appreciate the restraint. They didn't just have them fly up here with helicopter blades. Oh no, this was in the trailer. I recognize this now. Yeah, no, not a character that we recognize.
You need to surrender.
Is this Barris's first mission or something?
You're a traitor and a murderer.
Not true.
I only killed one person when I broke his neck. I've only killed one friend so far. Also, everyone I blew up at the Jedi Temple. That too. So is Barris just gonna realize I don't agree with the Jedi, I also don't agree with the Republic, I also don't agree with the Empire, and just have to sort of go off on her own and just not like any side?
Set down your weapon. 5.
The other sister's gonna stab them, other sister's gonna stab them.
I'm so tired. And I feel so
Red. Red, come on.
Then come with me.
Come on, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. There we go. Is she gonna like close his eyes or something? Oh.
We need to get them to the ship. We can save them.
Forget it. Let them die. The Jedi are a threat to be eradicated wherever they are found.
Then you have one Jedi left to deal with.
Really, Barris? Okay. That was anticlimactic as fuck. And if Barris now identifying as a Jedi doesn't feel satisfying, throwing the helmet over is... This just felt rushed. I feel... if we had another episode in between... If we had another episode in between the previous episode and this one,
You're not alone.
then this would feel more satisfying if she went on... It's like the Dooku one. If we went straight from Dooku with Qui-Gon on that mission, straight to Dooku killing Yaddle in the following episode, like, I get it, but it would have felt rushed. We needed that extra one in between to show the gradient of his decline to the dark side, rather than just BAM! And it's like, okay, Barris betrayed the Jedi, that's where we're starting. And in terms of getting darker or getting lighter, I get whatever. Becomes an Inquisitor, she's she kills one of her friends and gets a bit darker at the end. But it feels like this whole episode she was just getting lighter and lighter and lighter the whole way through. That I'm not a fan of that episode. I think we just needed one more. I think one more episode in between to just show her going on a mission and starting to question it. I mean, they go on a mission and she's all for it. She's gung ho until the end, and then she starts having second thoughts. Versus here, she was having second thoughts from minute 1 of this episode. Which, I mean, are we trying to redeem Barriss with this? I don't get the intention here. Barriss fucking bombed the Jedi Temple. That was her character arc, was Padawan Illuminara unduly, who Luminara didn't value as a person, necessarily. The contrast of Anakin and Luminara of our Padawan are both trapped down here. Luminara, 'tis a shame she will die. I can get another Padawan. She wasn't that flippant, but I can get another Padawan, you know. Versus Anakin, no, we need to save her. She to Anakin, Ahsoka is his little sister, you know. Versus to Luminara, didn't have much attachment to Barriss, and again, attachment is not the Jedi way. Barriss wasn't expecting them to save them at one point, you know. But Barriss over time is then disillusioned, and sure, a fair amount of it is off screen because she canonically spends a lot of time after the whole Geonosis incident and the zombie worms and all that just at the Jedi Temple. But she, over time, reaches the point of disillusionment with the Jedi and the Republic. That she bombs the Jedi Temple again. Fucking hell. And then frames Ahsoka for it. And she fucking force chokes a woman through the wall, you know? Like, Barriss did some dark shit. So her character arc now is from Luminar's Padawan, over time throughout the Clone War, which again was like 3 years, over those 3 years, getting more and more disillusioned with everything, doing what she does, giving her speech to Palpatine, who fucking knows that she's right, and everyone at her trial. Locked in prison. Oh, well, we're letting you out of jail because it turns out you were right. The Jedi were traitors to the Republic, I guess. They had lost their way and all that. Everything she was saying is now framed as having been right the whole time. Which, again, I really like that. I really liked Barriss's first episode. Barriss's episode 2... again, Luminar's Padawan gradually gets darker, bombs the Jedi Temple, is now inducted as an Inquisitor, which feels right. That's what we've been kind of expecting. But then on her first... which I like her perhaps having that realization on her first mission, going, oh, this is not what I thought. But that feels out of character for the orchestrator of the bombing of the Jedi Temple. This next episode needs to do some work to get me to accept this character change. I don't mind a character having an arc and getting darker and then getting lighter again. That's fine. It just didn't feel very earned there. Okay, on to episode 6, the finale. So yeah, full screen. Let's go on this one. Okay, 3, 2, 1, play. What are we going to do here? Is this going to be an episode of Barriss and the Jedi she saved? Maybe she fails to save him and it's just her alone? Are the Inquisitors going to come for her now? Is that how Marek first died, maybe? Because there's an interesting similarity with Marek and the Clancy Brown Inquisitor, that they both, when they die... The Clancy Brown Inquisitor sort of... his mask hits the ground and he just sort of deflates. And Marek, when stabbed, sort of a bunch of gas and smoke leaves and he collapses. Snow Chinchilla. Fat Snow Chinchilla. What is the scene? What is happening here? Who is this porcupine pangolin looking guy? Is this the two? Is it Varys again? Again, the lighting is so obfuscating. The healer. Wait, this couple got a baby that we're trying to save. I'm trying to see face markings, but I don't know. I don't think so. Is Barris the healer? Because, again, canonically, we know... Okay, I initially assumed that was the Jedi she saved and Barris. And I'm like, whoa, this is a big time skip, what are we doing? But no, okay, Barris is probably the healer. Because, again, in her time at the Jedi Temple, after the whole Geonosis stuff, she was just a healer in the temple as her powers gradually, I think they decreased over time or something, as she sort of lost faith. Yeah, definitely not Barris, okay. That would have been really interesting, though. It's like, she became an Inquisitor and then just Cut McQuain'd it, you know?
Forward.
Yes, Barris.
You're safe here.
Ooh, much shorter hair. Bit of a time skip. Noticeably aged. In the face, though, there's some lines.
Be anything wrong with you?
We thought so too, but the Empire came to our village and examined all of the children.
They took samples of their blood. Something about Micah frightened them.
They wanted to take him away, so we fled. That's when we met the
M
traveler.
count.
He told us to find you.
If not, something worse.
And now they're here.
Mother, someone is coming.
Why is Mother? Wow. Oh, the darkness up ahead. Yeah, there's a figure there.
Take this family and go. Use my starship.
Okay.
Wise mother, we are here to help you.
Steve Bloom. Steve
You
Bloom.
already have. The coordinates are in the ship's computer.
Where are we taking them?
To see an old friend. She'll understand what to do.
The old friend, again, I would have assumed to just be the Jedi that she saved, but I'm guessing that's the Traveler they spoke of instead. Because she did refer to this old friend as a she. Is this going to be Vader? Or, Lynn? Other sister or Vader. That's the two options here. I'm seeing a cape, so I'm thinking Vader. No, okay, Lynn. Okay, she survived the fall. I was hoping for a Vader and Barris face off, but no, okay. A rematch. She doesn't look to have aged much. Different species age at different rates, I know.
Is this who you have become? Chasing down innocent children for your empire?
You're a traitor. I wouldn't expect you to understand.
You're correct, Lynn. I do not.
Do not call me that.
I also do not. Yeah, this is a rather one-dimensional Inquisitor character who makes decisions I do not understand, very much like Reva was in Kenobi. And it's not decisions I don't understand out of ignorance, it's just I don't get why you're making the dumb choices you're making. Here, I kind of understand it, but like last episode just portrayed this character as a fucking idiot, so that's kind of my perception of them. He just needlessly, senselessly murders. I do always like fights where characters more in tune with the Force have less, well, don't fight with the weapon, they just fight with the Force. Which is something I've
You do not know the path. And if you go in, you will not come out.
Fear is my ally, not yours.
You choose your allies poorly.
Yeah. Okay, that was bait. There's a wampa or something in that cave, you know? Just obviously baiting her. So now Barris gets to keep her hands clean because she doesn't have to be the one to kill her. It'll be whatever monster's in here instead. Okay. Oh, it's a quad jumper! Nice! Not the quad jumper from Force Awakens. Not even a similar quad jumper to the one in Andor. But it is another quad jumper style ship. Nice. And yeah, you're just gonna be lost in this ice cave forever. You're gonna die in here. That was a good wipe. Sort of letterbox, but then also with her coming up into frame. That was good. I liked that a lot. She's gonna like cause it to collapse. Oh. You're just a fucking idiot. I'm really uninvested in this now. Episode 1, I'm like, whoa! Start of episode 2, okay. But from the moment this character just slaughtered everyone in that building, I've lost all investment in this. Which is a real shame, because there was a lot of potential to this story with Barris as an Inquisitor, but they just didn't do it. And that felt fucking dumb. Okay, we give Barris an end. Okay, she's canonically dead, sure.
There is no way out. Is there?
That's what the Empire wants you to think.
I like that idea. And this whole, stop calling me Lynn. Lynn's not my name. Lynn's not who I am. Yes, it is right at the end. So take back your name. We never got the alternative. I don't know which sister this is. Please, just give us that I understand it not mattering to the characters in universe what the brother and sister designations are. But for simplicity of the fandom's like ability to converse and understand what one another are talking about, please just give these characters titles that we can all agree upon. Because what? The sister formerly known as Lynn? I might like these episodes more on a rewatch when I know the direction they're going. But while I really liked the Morgan ones, these last two Barris ones have just lost me. I'm sorry. I wanted to like these. And that's where you meant it. So it's not a confirmed Barris death, it's a maybe Barris death. Okay, she was stabbed, but the sister formerly known as Lynn, because you didn't give us a name to use. Just Lynn, I guess. It's Lynn who is the sister formerly known as Lynn. Yay! We got there. I'm sorry. I know how this looks, but I genuinely did want to like these episodes. And I'm glad they didn't. I'm kind of glad they didn't go for Opa Rancisis like I postulated at the start of episode 2. That would have been cool and fan servicey, but you would have needed to dedicate time to that fight scene, which was not this story's intention. And I appreciate them for telling the story they wanted to tell and not just pandering, which is good with Barris, but so to circle back to what I was saying before this episode, Barris Offee, we first see in Attack of the Clones, as a Jedi at the Jedi Temple and everything. She shows up with Luminara and the rest of the Jedi for the Battle of Geonosis, the first Battle of Geonosis. because reminder, there were multiple. We then later see her at the second Battle of Geonosis, which is that like Clone Wars arc, trapped below, that everything with Ahsoka and Luminar and Anakin trying to save them, but Luminar's not that into it. You know, that whole arc. I'm making Luminara sound really bad. She's not, but she's a more traditional Jedi. We get that arc. Barriss goes back to the Jedi Temple after that experience, and what she sees while remaining at the Jedi Temple of all her friends and other Jedi and everyone coming back to the temple, brutally injured and everything, the cost of the war. She becomes disillusioned with the Jedi way and the Republic. She sees that it is no longer in service to the people, rather similar to Dooku does in what we see of him in Tales of the Jedi. That's an interesting idea, actually. That could have been fun to tap into a bit more, but anyway. She then ultimately reaches the point where she's like, I'm gonna orchestrate a bombing of the Jedi Temple. That is how set in this is wrong she is, that she thinks doing that is right. She then frames Ahsoka for it. Fights Ventress, gets Ventress's sabers. Anakin then fights her. She is arrested. She is put on trial. She gives her testimony, confesses, and is then locked up. From her cell, she sees Order 66 happen at the Jedi Temple, a great distance away. The sister, formerly known as Lynn, shows up and is like, hey, turns out you were right. Come on, we're doing a thing. They go to the still under construction Inquisitorius. That's fun. Is trained in, from what we were shown, the space of a day to be an Inquisitor. I mean, I'm assuming, because I like it more this way, that it was more than just a day. But from what we were shown, it may have been a day. Then has to fight the other Jedi Padawan who was there. I'm assuming they were Padawan. They could have been a Jedi Knight. They didn't have, well... I'm going to say Jedi Knight. Neither they nor Barriss had a braid, so I assume they were both Knights at that point. Although I don't think we ever saw Barriss with a braid. But that's largely down to her outfit in the early days of the Clone Wars. Anyway, she then kills this guy. It's like, okay, we're going from I orchestrate a bombing to I directly kill a person who was formerly a friend and on my side, out of a mix of self-preservation and desire for promotion. Perhaps more self-preservation, but there's certainly an aspect of that. And becomes an Inquisitor. What was her designation? What was her sister number? We don't know. Because Inquisitorius was still being built, I assume at that time, at the scene we saw, there were only 5 Inquisitors, being the Grand, Marek, Barriss, Lynn, and the Clancy Brown Inquisitor. None of those 4 we have a designation for. Now, is that because this was so early in the... I suppose you could justify it that way, that this was so early in the runtime of the Inquisitor program, of the Inquisitors as an organization, that they hadn't reached the point where there were so many of them that they had to number them. So, again, the Grand Inquisitors like brothers, sisters. They weren't numbering yet. I guess you can justify it that way. Sure, I don't hate that, if that is the intent. Sure, I'll take that as justification. That's not too bad, actually. So the sisters and one brother call this guy brother. The sisters and the other brother call this guy brother. The brothers and the sister call this one sister. The brothers and the sister call this one sister. That's fine. Until you start getting tons of Inquisitors, and then they start numbering. I can see that. I can accept that. Barris goes on, as far as we can tell, her first mission. There was a line like at the start of like, oh, you should know by now not to question the Grand Inquisitor. But as far as we know, this was their first mission. There was no... And as much as we make fun of those lines in Attack of the Clones, there's no, oh, remember that business here? Remember that nest of Gundarks? No, that doesn't count. There was no reference to prior missions and Barris seeing how much she disagrees with the Inquisitor's ways. And again, us not getting any build-up to it leads me to think this was her first mission. In which case, is she like the shortest-lived Inquisitor in the history of the Inquisitorius? In terms of her time spent. Fucking wow. She becomes, as Barris is one to do, she becomes disillusioned with the Republic and the Jedi, now becomes disillusioned with the Empire and the Inquisitorius as well. Barris just can't commit to a fucking side. And don't get me wrong, they all have their flaws. Perhaps she sees... I don't mind her... And I think it's interesting that she becomes a figure similar to Ahsoka who's just sort of out on her own. Though, again, Ahsoka ultimately plays her part in the rebellion, and then after the rebellion as well with everything, whereas Barris is very much keeping to herself, carrying on not necessarily the Jedi teachings, just whatever she taught to the two disciples, for lack of a better term. Before Lynn shows up, having followed these parents with this Force-sensitive baby, finding Barris by accident, tries to hit Barris with her saber over and over again and fails to do so. Runs past Barris, is like, forget this, I need to go do the mission and get the baby. I'm gonna run into this cave that you told me not to run into or I get lost. She runs into and gets lost. Barris then follows her in, sort of mocking her, perhaps, I assume, trying to reform her, trying to get her to come back to the light. If not necessarily a Jedi come back to the light. But then Barris did sort of identify herself as a Jedi in the previous episode. Anyway, tries to convince Lynn to come back to the light. Lynn, who's been slashing up the walls of this cave, stabs Barris. And as Barris is seemingly dying in her arms and talks and seemingly persuades her, is like, oh, there is a way out. The Empire don't want you to think there's a way out. This cave is a metaphor for the Empire's control over you, which I don't hate entirely. I just don't care much for this Lynn character, and thus I'm not very invested in it because they made some fucking weird decisions that I don't get. So she prioritized in episode 2 not going after the Jedi. She prioritized wiping out dissonance. And then in episode 3, there has been a bit of a time skip, but we're only seeing this character for this period, for these episodes. As far as I know, I don't recognize her from anything else. We only see her in these 3 episodes. So in episode 2, she's like, yeah, look, I'm going to wipe out these dissonance and then go after the mission. Whereas in episode 3, she's like, I'm going to leave you dissonant and I'm going to go after the mission. Episode 1 of Barris's... I'm breaking down into episode 1, 2, 3 and episode 1, 2, 3. But episode 4, Barris episode 1, aka Tales of the Empire episode 4, I liked. Episode 2 started alright, but then this Lynn character has really thrown me, because I don't understand their decisions. I said it during the reaction, they feel like a fucking idiot. And that's really brought down these last 2 Barris ones. I like Barris ending up where she ends up. I would have liked Barris dying in that cave, and then Lynn either also dying in that cave, not being able to come around and see the light, and she's too in her ways to do that. That would be interesting. That would be dark. And I'm not calling for Star Wars to always be doom and gloom and gritty. Of course not. I love the Clone Wars show. Rebels is great. Andor is amazing. On the other side, Star Wars is for everyone as a franchise. There's something in Star Wars for everyone. She could have not found a way out and died in there with Barriss, having killed the only person there who knew how to get out. And thus it's sort of being her own fault. Or she can, as she does, get out. Getting out with Barriss is what's a bit of an issue for me, because I feel like I don't know what Dave and the writers and everyone behind the scenes' plans are for Barriss, but I feel like you do this show to tell what happens to Barriss and tell that story. Instead, we've told either the start of that story or most of the story or some of the story and left it on a cliffhanger, so that now for the next however many years between Varys' last appearance in Clone Wars and now this coming out, let's say it was 5 years, now we have to wait another 5 years to find out what happens again. It feels unsatisfying. The Morgan stuff was satisfying individual episodes that then built to a pretty solid package. I think the last one was the weakest, but it was also sort of the climax of those three, was showing her get to this point. From kid who sees her mother die on Dathomir to torching this forest, working these people as basically slaves, as we can assume it was implied, to construct the Eye to go and save Thrawn after the visions she's had from the mothers. So, like, I get that. I like that. I understand all that. How is Morgan Elsbeth, this character who's existed in canon since Mando Season 2 a few years ago, how has that been so much more solid than the conclusion, or at least continuation, because it seems like she didn't die, of Barriss Offee's story, a character who's existed since Attack of the Clones? And in these last two episodes of Barriss' story, I feel kind of dragged down the first one of Barriss' story too. I really liked the first four. The last two fumbled the ball hard to the point that it kind of drags down episode 4 a bit as well. I think that's my conclusion to Tales of the Jedi. I liked it overall. There were just some specifically this Lynn character, and it kind of rubbed off on Barriss a bit as well, I think. How just what they were both doing had some weird beats in these last two episodes. I don't want to keep lingering on it and keep being negative, because I did overall enjoy Tales of the Empire, and I look forward to whatever the next one's going to be. Tales of the Rebellion, Tales of the Sith, Tales of the Old Republic. There's lots of things you could do. I think, genuinely really enjoy a 6-episode, 3 and 3, focus on 2 characters, but a 6-episode series with no fight scenes at all. I want to see, and this is my call that I don't think we're ever going to get, I want to see Star Wars Tales of the Senate. Give us more on some other senators. Give us... You would have to resist... I mean, you might have to do like 3 episodes on Bail or 3 episodes on Mon Mothma, just to have one of them be a recognizable, bigger character to hook people in to watch it in the first place. But give us like... I'd watch 6 episodes about politicians, genuinely. Because I think there's some really interesting stuff you could do with that. Equally, I said the same thing about the She-Hulk show. I'm like, oh, superhero law. There's a lot of really interesting stuff you can do with that. Again, the classic example, can Spider-Man testify in court with a mask on and everything? Can the character, the persona of Spider-Man, give a testimony? And that applies to all masked superheroes, you know? Instead, the She-Hulk show was not about that. There were a few court cases, but none of them were about, like, superhero law. It's like, here's this immortal guy being sued by all his exes. Which was fun, but that it didn't live up to what I was wanting out of it. Yeah, okay, I'm going off on tangents now. I do look forward to the next Tales of the Blink. Whatever it may be. I was saying it as Bad Batch was coming to a close, that, we're coming to the end of Star Wars animation. And then this trailer came out, I'm like, there's more Star Wars animation to come. Now I think we are at the end of Star Wars animation for the time being. We did just get a trailer for a Lego Star Wars What If sort of series that we kind of guessed was coming if you're a Lego Star Wars person and you saw the set leaks of, there's this Dark Falcon that's coming with a Darth Jar Jar and a white-suited Vader and all that. So that's going to be fun. But this is the end for now. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Jack of all Trades. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope I have managed to edit this down. Until next time, bye.